Very good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television, the perfect show to kickstart your day, bringing you the top national, international sports and business news. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor and here are this morning's headlines. Kashmir Valley on high alert after attacks on multiple CRPF installations. India tells UNHRC that Pakistan is using terrorism to destabilize Jammu and Kashmir. Pakistan continues to violate ceasefire, shells, mortars and fires on forward posts and civilian areas along the line of control in Rajouri and Poonch. BJP reaches out to the opposition over next president. Committee to meet Sonia Gandhi, Sitaram Yechuri today. NDA choice likely by 23rd of June. Indian origin Leo Varadkar elected as Ireland's new Prime Minister. Varadkar is country's youngest and its first gay Prime Minister. And India to take on Bangladesh in the first semi-final of ICC Champions Trophy today. The winner will clash with Pakistan in the summit clash at the Oval on Sunday. First up, news from the Kashmir Valley, where a high alert has been issued. This comes a day after militants attacked multiple CRPF installations in south of Kashmir. Now, police says that the attacks had been carried out by Jaish-e-Mohammed militants. 10 CRPF personnel and 2 policemen were injured in the attacks on Tuesday. And militants also decamped with 4 rifles from the guards who were deployed at the house of a retired justice in Anantnag town. Meanwhile, India has told United Nations Human Rights Council that Pakistan was providing sustenance to terrorism. Now, exercising its right to reply during a general debate at the 35th session of the UNHRC, India accused Pakistan of misusing the UN platform to pursue its political objectives. Now, responding to Pakistan's statement in which it described the situation in Kashmir as India's national shame, and that hateful cycle can only be stopped through political dialogue, India retorted, and I quote, Pakistan's unsolicited and unwarranted comments pertaining to the Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir, which is an integral part of the Union of India, are factually incorrect and bear no relationship to reality. Now, asserting that Pakistan is using terror to destabilize Kashmir, India said that the foremost challenge to stability in Kashmir is the scourge of terrorism, which receives sustenance from Pakistan and the territories under Pakistan's control. Now, India further said that instead of working with a sense of purpose to address this issue of terrorism, Pakistan resorts to short-sighted tactics to divert attention. India also informed the United Nations body that it has handed over concrete evidence to Pakistan about cross-border encouragement and support for the protests in Kashmir. Meanwhile, the Pakistani army on Wednesday violated the ceasefire thrice along the line of control in Rajouri and Poonch sectors of Jammu and Kashmir. 2 Pakistani soldiers were killed in fierce retaliation by the Indian troops. The Pakistan army resorted to shelling of mortar bombs and firing of small arms and automatic weapons on forward posts and civilian areas in the region. Remember, there have been 10 ceasefire violations in the past 4 days and a total of 14 ceasefire violations along the line of control and the international border in Jammu region since 1st of January this year, in which 1 civilian died and 7 others were injured. In escalated terror violence in Kashmir, militants engineered 7 grenade attacks and firing incidents in the valley on Tuesday, in which 14 policemen were injured and 4 rifles snatched by the militants.
वो भारत में खासकर जम्मू कश्मीर में हमारे डिस्टर्बेंस क्रिएट करना चाहता है और ख़ासकर ऐसे मौक़ों में जैसे रमज़ान का पवित्र महीना चल रहा है और आने वाले दिनों में यात्राएं भी आने वाली हैं और उनका एक तरीक़ेकार रहता है। हमें उनका अज़ाइम्स का पता है और हम उसको डील करने के लिए पूरी तरह से तैयार हैं।
And now an update on the presidential poll. Days after the BJP formed a 3-member committee to build consensus on the presidential polls. Now the opposition party leaders met on Wednesday to discuss their strategy for the polls. The meeting was attended by 10 members of the subgroup that was formed after all the 17 opposition party leaders met a few days ago to form a united opposition ahead of the polls. However, no names were discussed in the meeting. Meanwhile, the BJP's three-member committee will meet Congress President Sonia Gandhi as well as the CPIM leader Sitaram Yechuri to discuss probable candidates. Now, the filing of nominations for the 17th of July election to the top constitutional post began on Wednesday. 6 persons filed papers on the first day.
ये हम आपस में बात कर रहे थे कि बीच में एक डेवलपमेंट हुई कि रूलिंग पार्टी ने 3 आदमियों का ग्रुप बनाया, तो ये प्रक्रिया भी उनकी तरफ से शुरू हुई है। उन्होंने रूलिंग पार्टी ने अपोजिशन के नेताओं को कांटेक्ट शुरू कर दिया है। अगले कुछ दिनों में इस सब कमेटी की दोबारा मीटिंग होगी, तो शायद उसमें हम विस्तार से चर्चा कर पाएंगे।
And now in the latest developments coming in from Darjeeling, the political crisis there took a new turn on Wednesday with the Gorkha National Liberation Front breaking its alliance with the ruling dispensation TMC. Now the GNLF joined hands with the Gorkha Janmukti Morcha, saying that the party has been fighting for Gorkha land since its inception. The GJM chief Bima Gurung has threatened to intensify the movement for the separate Gorkha land state, even as the indefinite shutdown in the government and the Gorkha land territorial administration offices entered its third day yesterday. Now banks and most of the ATMs were closed, but shops and markets were open. Though no violence was reported, most of the tourists have left the hills. Now, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee met Governor K.N. Tripathi in Kolkata and briefed him about the situation in the hills. Meanwhile, the centre is also monitoring the situation in Darjeeling and has also sought a report from the state government.
कल गोरखालैंड हो जाएगा उस समय भी मिल जाएगा, लेकिन जाति उन्मुक्ति पहले होना चाहिए, हम लोग चाहता हूँ। और 2-4 जगह में ऐसा हो रहा है जहाँ पर पूरा तानाशाही का वो रणनीति लेकर काम कर रहा है और उसमें थोड़ा विवाद हो रहा है और सभी जगह अभी बंद है, ऑफिस वगैरह वगैरह बैंक सब बंद है और हम लोग नॉन कोऑपरेशन मूवमेंट हम लोग कर रहा हूँ।
ऑल पार्टी मीटिंग होना चाहिए और साथ साथ ट्राइपार्टाइट बैठक करके केंद्र सरकार राज्य सरकार दोनों की जिम्मेदारी है। सीमावर्ती इलाका है और सिर्फ पुलिस से, सिर्फ लाठीचार्ज से, सिर्फ जोर जुल्म से ये मामला हल होने वाला नहीं है।
Heinous measures in order to humiliate the Gorkha Janmukti Morcha.
On to some other news now. The Union Cabinet on Wednesday cleared the interest subvention scheme for farmers. Now, with this decision, the farmers will continue to get short-term loans of up to 3 lakh rupees at subsidized interest rate of 7%. And prompt repayers will get at 4% as the government extended the subsidy to banks for 2017-18. The cabinet approved the total expenditure of 20,339 crore rupees in the current financial year. The decision by the Union Cabinet comes at a time when farmers across the country are protesting to get their farm loan waivers. Now, farmers from Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh are among the worst hit. Earlier, as an interim measure, the Reserve Bank of India had asked the banks to continue giving the discount on interest on short-term crop loans during the current fiscal. Meanwhile, Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan on Wednesday visited Mandsaur and met the families of the 5 farmers who were killed last week during the farmers' stir. The Chief Minister gave the families a compensation of 1 crore rupees each and assured of all the assistance as well. Meanwhile, Congress leader Jyotiraditya Scindia also began a 72-hour protest in Bhopal demanding loan waiver for farmers. The All India Kisan Sabha also met the bereaved families of the farmers and blamed the Madhya Pradesh government for Mandsaur violence. Meanwhile, the farmer situation in the state remains grim, with the 2 more suicide cases being reported from Balaghat and Barwani district. Now, this takes the total number of farmer suicide reported in the state since 8th of June to 7. Meanwhile, in a related development highlighting the farmers' plight and demanding loan waiver, Congress committee in Jodhpur held a rally yesterday.
Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan on Wednesday met families of the farmers killed in the police firing last week. Giving them a compensation of 1 crore each, he assured them that their loans will be waived off.
संवेदना प्रकट करने मैं आया था, उनसे चर्चा हुई है। किसानों की तकलीफें भी सुन रहा हूं, चर्चा भी कर रहा हूं, बातचीत भी कर रहा हूं। कई उपाय प्रदेश सरकार ने किए हैं, वो भी सबकी जानकारी में आ रहे हैं। शांति सद्भाव रहे और किसान आगे बढ़े, उसके लिए हर संभव प्रयास किए जाएंगे।
Ahead of the Chief Minister's visit to Badwan village in Mandsaur district, families of the deceased farmers demanded strict action against the people responsible for their killings.
सख्त सख्त कार्रवाई की जाए साहब। उन्होंने बताया कि हमारे बच्चे को किसान संघ रैली चल रही थी, निकल रही थी, उसमें बताया उनको पुलिस वालों ने ले जाके थाने में ले जाके उनको इतना पीटा साहब, उनको दोनों हाथ पैर तोड़ दिए, उनके कुत्ते की तरह मारा, उनको न तो पानी पिलाया, पानी के लिए उनकी जान निकल गई साहब। उन्होंने पुलिस वालों ने जान ले ली उनकी साहब।
बाकी सभी किसानों की जो भी मरे, उन सबका यही कहना है कि मतलब उनको कार्यवाही की जाए, पेशे से सबसे पहले उसको निकाले, क्योंकि इतनी अथॉरिटी सीएम ने दे नहीं रखी कि आप गोलियां चलाओ, ये करो। 1
करोड़ रुपए की राशि करे बैंक में जमा आएगा।
अच्छा
हाँ, और बैंक माफ कर दूंगा।
Meanwhile, Congress party leader Jyotiraditya Scindia, who was prevented from visiting Mandsaur, started a 72-hour satyagraha in Bhopal. He demanded a loan waiver for the state farmers who are holding protests since June 1st, demanding better prices for their produce. Mandsaur emerged as the epicenter of the farmers' agitation last week after 5 farmers were killed in the agitation that turned violent. While the district has remained calm since then, 3 farmers have reportedly committed suicide in the state in the last 24 hours, taking the number of farmer deaths in the last 2 weeks to 9. With Ravinder Sharon, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Let's get you the weather update from the northeast of the country, and at least 20 people died as the torrential monsoon showers hit northeastern states since Tuesday. Flash flooding was reported in parts of Assam and Mizoram. Now 12 people died in Guwahati alone, while several people are still missing. 8 persons were killed in Mizoram. The heavy showers are due to the formation of a low-pressure area in the region. It was due to this weather system that the Brahmaputra and its tributary rivers swelled, causing flooding in the region. This low-pressure area is expected to continue bringing heavy spells of rain over Assam and Mizoram over the next 24 hours as well. Meanwhile, National Highway 54, which links Mizoram with Assam, has been cut off at several places due to landslides. Now, Mizoram Chief Minister on Wednesday set up a high-level committee chaired by State Home Minister to assess the flood situation in the state. Disaster Management and Rehabilitation Department officials estimated that over 2,000 families were affected by the floods. In Guwahati, the district administration has declared a compensation of 4 lakh rupees each to the families of those dead. Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal also directed the district administration, the GMC Water Resources Department as well as PWD and other agencies to take prompt action. Now, flooding has also been reported in southern Hyderabad. Now, waterlogging was reported from a lot of places in the city. The residents were forced to wade through waist-high waters to travel small distances. Now, the Met Department says that the country is likely to receive higher monsoon rainfall than previously forecast, as concern over the El Nino weather condition has eased.
At present, the weather conditions that have prevailed have shown that the southwest monsoon has touched the Rayalaseema on 7th June, and the onset of the monsoon over Rayalaseema and some parts of south coastal AP had occurred on 7th June. And it slightly advanced into some parts of Rayalaseema by 11th June. And some parts of coastal AP have been covered by 11th June in parts of Nellore and in Ongole districts.
On to some other news. Petroleum Dealers Association on Wednesday called off its proposed strike against a daily revision of petrol and diesel prices after meeting with the Petroleum Minister Dharmendra Pradhan in the national capital on Wednesday. During the meeting, Pradhan agreed on the demand of petroleum dealers to make price revisions every morning at 6 rather than midnight as decided by the oil marketing companies. The petroleum minister said that the daily price revision will be implemented from 16th of June as decided, and also asked the oil companies to automate all their petrol pumps on a war footing and as soon as possible. Now, private pump owners had threatened to go on a strike over concerns of inadequate infrastructure to revise prices every midnight.
दिन में कामकाज व्यवहारिक तरीके से शुरू होगी उसी समय यानी सुबह 6 बजे से प्राइस नया लगेगी। जो रात को 12 बजे लगना था, डेली प्राइस चेंज की शुरुआत सुबह 6 बजे से होगी। और कुछ छोटे मोटे चिंता थी रिटेल आउटलेट्स एसोसिएशन की, उसको भी हमने संज्ञान में लिया है। उसको एक अच्छे संपर्क में दोनों कंपनी और रिटेल आउटलेट दोनों मिलके कंज्यूमर के लिए, ग्राहकों के हित में काम करे, ये हम लोगों ने फैसला किया है।
Now, inflation based on the wholesale price index fell to a 5-month low of 2.17% in May on the back of a softening of vegetable prices. The WPI-based inflation stood at 3.85% in April 2017. The WPI food index decreased from 2.9% in April to 0.15% in the month of May. The WPI for the month is based on the new base year 2011-12, which was revised last month from 2004-2005 with an aim to reflect the macroeconomic picture more accurately. News from the south of the country: and chaos in the Tamil Nadu Assembly on Wednesday led to all members of the main opposition party, the DMK, being forced out of the building. Now, the DMK members faced the action after they tried to raise the cash for vote controversy in the House. Now, leader MK Stalin and 86 others took to streets and blocked the traffic, which later resulted in their arrest.
சம்பந்தப்பட்ட உறுப்பினரே மறுத்திருக்காரு. நீங்கள் கோர்ட்டுக்கும் போயிட்டு இருங்க.
The Tamil Nadu Assembly witnessed noisy scenes on Wednesday when opposition DMK members raised the issue of alleged horse trading of AIADMK MLAs. DMK members raised the issue despite being denied permission to do so. Speaker P. Dhanapal disallowed a discussion as sought by the leader of opposition, MK Stalin, stating that the matter was sub judice. He then ordered the eviction of all DMK members from the House as they resorted to sloganeering. Soon after the eviction, Stalin and other DMK MLAs blocked roads outside the assembly. They were later detained by the police. The opposition has now demanded dissolution of the K. Palaniswamy government.
அது மட்டுமல்ல, உடனடியாக இதில் யார் யார் சம்பந்தப்பட்டிருக்கிறார்கள், எங்கெங்க பணங்கள் எல்லாம் பேரம் பேசப்பட்டு யார் யாருக்கு வழங்கப்பட்டிருக்கிறது என்பதை குறித்து உடனடியாக அரசே முன்வந்து சிபிஐ விசாரணை நடத்திட வேண்டும் என்று எடுத்துச் சொல்ல வேண்டும் என்ற அடிப்படையில் தான் இன்றைக்கு சட்டமன்றத்தில் நேரமில்லா நேரத்தை பயன்படுத்தி நான் எழுப்புவதற்கு முயற்சித்தேன்.
See, we have already raised this issue on the floor of the assembly. That is why we sought voting, secret ballot. That was totally denied, and now the matter is pending in the court. All this we have already told the people and the press also. So whatever we said is true. So the court should take cognizance of this and render justice.
DMK members tried to raise the matter related to a sting operation which was carried out by 2 news channels. The sting operation showed an AIADMK MLA making some claims of payoffs to ruling party MLAs ahead of the trust vote that was sought and won by the Palaniswamy government on February 18th. The DMK has termed the incident shameful and said that the State Assembly should discuss the matter. Tamil Nadu's ruling party has been roiled in controversy since the death of J. Jayalalitha. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Let's get you some more national developments in nationwide. In the 900 crore rupees money laundering case, Enforcement Directorate filed its first charge sheet against liquor baron Vijay Mallya, Kingfisher Airlines, 2 Kingfisher Airline executives and 5 IDBI bank officials. The next hearing in the case is on 6th of July. The Delhi High Court has dismissed the bail plea of alleged middleman Sukesh Chandrasekhar, who was arrested in the Election Commission bribery case involving AIADMK leader TTV Dinakaran. The Delhi police claimed that Sukesh had many cases pending against him and was also asserted that more arrests are likely to be made in the cases soon. At least 8 people, including a woman, were killed and 30 were injured when an Uttar Pradesh roadways bus fell into the bank of a Sai river from a bridge. The incident took place at Bargudpul area under Siknara police station at around 1:30 p.m. The Public Works Department of the Delhi government has slapped a fine of 27 lakh rupees on the Aam Aadmi Party. The fine is for unauthorized occupation of the party office. The fine, which is 65 times the license fee, will reportedly go on increasing if the party doesn't vacate the office. All right, let's get you some international news. And the death toll in the West London Tower block fire has risen to 12 and the number is expected to rise. Now, flames continue to flicker in the windows of the Grenfell Tower in North Kingston after a fire engulfed the building in the early hours of the morning yesterday. The search for the survivors ended on Wednesday night, but the recovery operation continues. Firefighters rescued 65 people from the tower that had around 120 flats. 78 people were hospitalized, 18 of whom are in a critical care. But many more people are still unaccounted for, and the loved ones have appealed on the social media for any information about them. It is understood that several hundred people were in the block when the fire broke out. Most of them were sleeping. Witnesses said that people were trapped in the tower block and that some people jumped out of windows in an effort to escape. Now, British Prime Minister Theresa May says that there would be full investigation, and if there are any lessons to be learned, they will be. But Labour politicians are calling for answers from the government. The cause of the fire remains unknown.
Of course, as I say, in due course, when the scene is secure, when it's possible to identify the cause of this fire, then of course there will be proper investigation, and if there are any lessons to be learned, they will be, and action will be taken.
News from the United States now, where a gunman on Wednesday killed 3 people at a UPS facility in San Francisco before killing himself. The police got a call at about 9 a.m. local time from the UPS San Francisco Center, which is a packaging, sorting and delivering facility. Now, a UPS employee opened fire on his colleagues with an assault pistol. 3 people died, while 2 other people were shot and survived. The suspect then shot himself when confronted by the police and later died in the hospital. Police have not released the names of the gunman or the victims so far.
One contact team located the suspect, who was still armed with an assault pistol. The suspect put the gun to his head and discharged the weapon. The officer secured the weapon and immediately administered aid to the suspect. The building has been secured at this point. We believe the incident involves only one suspect. At this point, we do not believe this incident is related to terrorism.
And another shooting in the United States, a House of Representatives Majority Whip Steve Scalise was one among those 5 people who were injured in a shooting incident near Washington. The gunman opened fire on Republican members of Congress during a baseball practice. Now, 50 to 100 shots were reportedly fired on the Republicans who were holding an early morning practice ahead of a game against Democrats this week. The injured also included 2 officers with non-life-threatening wounds. The attacker, identified as Illinois' native James T. Hodgson, was killed after a firefight with the police. President Donald Trump described the attack as a very, very brutal assault.
A gunman opened fire on members of Congress and their staffs as they were practicing for tomorrow's annual charity baseball game. Authorities are continuing to investigate the crime, and the assailant has now died from his injuries.
And news from Ireland, where Leo Varadkar, an Indian origin doctor, has become the country's new Prime Minister. The 38-year-old scripted history by becoming Ireland's youngest and the first openly gay Prime Minister in the Catholic majority country. Now, Varadkar officially took over as Taoiseach, which is the title for the Irish Prime Minister, after a parliamentary vote confirmed him as the leader by 57 votes to 50 with 47 abstentions. And the former general physician won the Fine Gael party leadership earlier this month. Varadkar is the son of a doctor from India and an Irish nurse. Now, after the win, Varadkar said that his election showed that there was no prejudice in Ireland. Varadkar's elevation marks another chapter in the social change that has swept Ireland, that only decriminalized homosexuality in 1993. Meanwhile, despite inheriting Europe's fastest growing economy, Varadkar will face immediate challenges in the shape of Britain's exit from the European Union.
हमारे पूरे परिवार को बहुत खुशी है कि हमारे परिवार का ये एक सदस्य है और वो एक इतिहास रचने जा रहा है कि वो दुनिया का सबसे यंग प्राइम मिनिस्टर बन सकता है और उसके लिए हम सब हमारी शुभकामनाएं उसके साथ है।
1998 में हम जब आयरलैंड गए थे तब लियो शायद 17-18 वर्ष का था और तभी मुझे लगा था ये लियो कोई बड़ा आदमी बन जाएगा क्योंकि वो मेरे साथ पॉलिटिक्स के लिए चर्चा करता था।
On to some sports news now. And Pakistan reached the final of the Champions Trophy after beating England by 8 wickets in the semi-final at Cardiff yesterday. Now put into bat first, England struggled on a slow pitch against some brilliant Pakistan bowling and fielding as they were restricted to just 211 runs. The hosts had started their innings cautiously and were well poised at 128 for 2 before a batting collapse saw them lose 8 wickets with just 83 runs. For Pakistan, pacer Hassan Ali picked up 3 wickets for third time in as many games, while Junaid Khan and Ruman Rais bagged 2 wickets apiece. In reply, Pakistan cruised to complete the target in just 37.1 overs after openers Azhar Ali and Fakhar Zaman provided a perfect start with 118-run partnership.
Credit goes to the bowlers. They bowled really well, especially in the middle part, starting with Shadab. They bowled really well. They took Joe Root, then Hassan came in and he took wicket, then Junaid Khan, Roman Rais. All credit goes to the bowlers. They bowled really well.
And in the second semi-final, defending champions India will take on Bangladesh at the Edgbaston today. Ahead of the game, Indian skipper Virat Kohli said that they will not take Bangladesh lightly as they were a dangerous side which has taken rapid strides in international cricket. Kohli also said that India was looking forward to continuing the momentum that they have gained so far in the tournament. The men in blue will head into the clash as a favourite after topping the Group B table with the 2 comprehensive wins. Now, the winner of the match will meet Pakistan in the Sunday's final at the Oval.
Yeah, we've been in these kind of games before quite a few times, but there are no guarantees in this sport. As we've seen in the league stages as well, a lot of teams have surprised the opposition and we're certainly not taking anything for granted. We will use whatever momentum we've gained in this tournament to execute what we want to.
All right, so it'll be interesting to see India and Pakistan clashing at the summit, the final in the Oval on Sunday. Thanks so much for watching.